here on Periscope. I think we're about 13,000 Super Hearts away from becoming a super broadcaster on Periscope. So thank you guys for all the support you have given us the last couple of weeks with the Super Hearts. I've been very nice with that. So thank you very much. Yeah, I saw Trevor Lee's father passed away as well. It's been a rough day for wrestling fans alone. That's like you talked about. Brian Christopher passed away today, and also, but Brickhouse Brown also passed away. I don't really know much about him. He was a little bit past my era, so I wasn't even too familiar with him. But I did see JR tweet that he was almost compared kind of to Junkyard Dog. I saw a little tweet he talked about there, and then we had Nikolai Volkoff passing away at the age of 70. I think we all know about Nikolai Volkoff. We'll touch a little bit on that as well. And then Brian Christopher, everybody, passing away as well. I think that was probably the most shocking one out of today. And that was Brian Christopher passed away. He committed suicide, of all things, in jail. He was recently arrested for, I believe, DWI and evading arrest. And he took his own life in prison. They found him, I guess, too late. I don't really know too much about the story. I'll get more into it tonight and pull it up. But it's a very sad situation. If you don't know much about Brian Christopher, he was part of Too Cool. He's also the son of Jerry the King Lawler. So if you haven't maybe sent some condolences out to him, I think that'd be nice of you guys to do that. Brian Christopher also passed away at a pretty young age. He was only 46 years old. Let's see, is there anything else? A longtime wrestling fan may remember Lawler as 1/3 of the trio known as Too Cool, along with Scotty 2 Hotty and WWE Hall of Famer Rikishi. During their time together in the WWE Attitude Era, Grandmaster Sexay and Scotty 2 Hotty captured the World Tag Team Championships in May of 2000, and Rikishi also had the Intercontinental Championship in 2000. That's about it. Update: his brother Kevin Lawler confirmed his passing on Facebook. Kevin Lawler posted on Facebook lots of different stories and rumors about my brother today, but as of 30 minutes ago, he's officially passed. I love you and will miss you, my brother. A very sad day today. Words can't describe. Brandon Apter's kind of giving us a little thing of update. What's going on? I should have had him on the show if I knew he knew so much about this. We'll go with you first, Alex, since you haven't been on the show the last couple of days. Your thoughts on the passing of Brian Christopher? Thank you, Jeffrey Cross from Super Hearts. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've all seen, like, for the past, he's had a lot of issues, like in terms of with the police and in terms of personal issues, and clearly, he's going through a very rough time, and unfortunately, it led to what we learned about today. So, it's just a reminder that in the wrestling world, we lose so many so young, and I think it goes throughout the rest of the world. Depression is it's an illness. It's not a choice, So if anyone ever feels like that, please don't try to reach out, try to talk. So my condolences to him and his family. I can't even imagine how Jerry the King is feeling going through all this. Can't even begin to imagine. So I guess since we're doing tributes, I mean, I was Too Cool came out, I think, in 2000. I want to say they formed around. So I was like 10, and I just thought it was the coolest thing ever, just seeing these three guys come out, especially Rikishi doing the dance. But in terms of Scotty 2 Hotty and Grandmaster Sexay, they were a pretty good tag team. I mean, they were pretty good in the ring, and they were very entertaining. So they always have a part for me that goes back to my childhood. So some really good memories. Everyone back and reunited. So, like I said, my condolences and prayers to the Lawler family. It's a sad day in wrestling today.
Yeah, and I mean, around 2000, I think I was around 15 years old. I mean, come on, all raise your hand in the chat room if you put on Too Cool's theme song and danced in your bedroom, or even maybe danced along with them when they were on your television screen. So, I mean, it's a very, suicide's a very touchy situation in all things. We don't want to get too into it. And we all know that he was obviously fighting some pretty serious demons. and was going through a very rough time in his life, and it's a very unfortunate way to go out, especially hanging himself in jail. I mean, it must have been a really rough thing going on inside that man's head. What about you, Dave?
I mean, yeah, I mean, what Alex said, I mean, really, I mean, depression is a serious thing. It really is. And whatever else demons he's battling, depression, anxiety, all that combined with everything, maybe we don't know what kind of issues he had going on in his head right now. And I remember reading the story a few days ago about him getting arrested. I'm like, man, I just feel that when you see one of your guys you remember watching just getting arrested like that, it's like, man, you just feel you feel kind of bad about it because he's in a bad spot. And then when you hear that he hung himself in jail, I mean, it was just like, wow, that just blew me away because just the thought of that, I mean, someone being that deep and gone in their head where you have to be battling some stuff where you can't get through it. But going back to like kind of a tribute part of it, and yes, if you're struggling with something, depression, anxiety, anything like this, just ask for help. I mean, just ask. This ain't a PSA, but I guess it's kind of turning that. Just ask for help if you're struggling with something. Reach out to people. But for a tribute, I mean, you talked about Too Cool. Yes, I do remember Too Cool, but I mainly remember the stuff before Too Cool when it was Brian Christopher and Taka Michinoku doing their little battles back and forth, and Jerry Lawler and him teaming up. I remember the stuff with when they took on Al Snow and Head, and they beat him because they put Head and Shoulders on the head. So, I mean, that was just some entertaining. He was entertaining, and that laugh he did was so annoying. But, yeah, try to get back up positive notes. But, yeah, there were some good memories back there. And Too Cool, man, those guys were over like Rover. I mean, that was one of the most over groups ever. I mean, with the dancing, the worm, I mean, everything. It was kind of corny, yes, but people loved it.
Now, do you think that type of a tag team or type of a group or gimmick would have gone over this time in 2018, Alex?
I mean, I don't want to just for the sake of Brian Christopher. I hate to say it, but I feel like it would come across as like a No Way Jose / heavy feel to it. But like I said, like when I watched it when I was a kid, I was completely into it. It was just so entertaining.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's rough because I don't think WWE would have kept them as serious as they were back in the Attitude Era. They were a serious tag team, as much as a comedy act, if you want to say they were, or not a legit serious tag team like some others in the Attitude Era. I still think I don't think they would have gone over in this type of era because they would have probably been treated like jokes, like you said, No Way Jose or someone like who's another group. Someone put in there. Breezango, another group as well. What about you, Dave?
I do. I think they would have got over. I mean, because look at Tyrus when he was more considered like a comedy act when they had him taking with Woods back in the day. You know.
Oh, okay. Did we just get a? What was it? I don't even remember the damn name of him. What was it? Did we just get a mention of Brodus Clay on this? Oh wow.
They would have Tenzai becoming Sweet Tea then and teaming up.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
God.
Sweet Tea.
Oh my lord.
Oh man.
I totally forgot about that. Holy crap. All right. Anyway, sorry about that. Yeah, somebody call my mama. Exactly.
Oh my god.
Ernest Miller is still waiting for royalties.
Seriously.
Okay, all right. Let's move on to Nikolai Volkoff. Again, another sad situation with Brian Christopher. Condolences to Jerry the King Lawler. I'm sure he's going through a rough time right now, and hopefully he'll be doing better in the future. But if you haven't seen any Too Cool stuff, definitely go check them out on the WWE Network. If you don't have that, check them out on the YouTube. We'll go with Nikolai Volkoff next because, like I said, we don't really know much about Brickhouse Brown unless maybe Alex and or Dave does.
No.
Nikolai Volkoff was more known for his tag team with the Iron Sheik from 1985 until 87. Together, the duo won tag team championships. Volkoff also famously teamed with Boris Zukov to form the Bolsheviks.
Yeah.
Don't forget the feud with Hulk Hogan as well.
Tag tag team with that too. Yeah.
Right. I wanted to get Triple H's tweet because the tweet he put out about Nikolai Volkoff, I thought summed it out pretty damn well. Let me get it up real quick. I thought it made the most sense. Hold on. Sorry, don't mean to stall. But Dave, any thoughts on Nikolai Volkoff? Any memories about him? I know that was a little bit.
Yeah, that was a little bit
in the 80s and stuff like that. Maybe not too much we can remember. But any thoughts on that?
I mean, yeah, I do remember. I knew who he was and stuff like that. I remember a lot of the stuff they brought him back for, too. But one thing I always remember is that they said he has the voice of an angel. I just remember that when they would. I remember when they would do the national anthem. Yeah, and they would do all that. But yeah, I don't remember a lot of his matches per se. I remember the guy in Cheek a little bit. Maybe that was after that when he was kind of feuding a little bit later on. But yeah, I mean, I don't really remember too much about Nikolai Volkoff, but I do remember. I just remember the team when they came together. I do remember that a little bit because I was born in '82, so I don't really remember a lot of this stuff.
Now, Triple H, here's a tweet that he put out. I thought this sums it up perfectly. He said, Nikolai entertained while inciting anger in fans all across the WWE universe as an in-ring competitor, but backstage he was a gentle and thoughtful family man. Our thoughts are with his family at this difficult time. And I think that pretty much sums it up. I mean, Nikolai Volkoff, you want to talk about heat. I mean, this guy got it majorly. I'm sure he got death threats. I'm sure he got all types of threats back in those days. Again, all of us didn't see much of him because, you know, we're 80s kids, maybe some are 90s kids in here. Didn't see him wrestle, but also if you haven't seen him, type in WWE Network. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff on him also on YouTube. What about your thoughts on him, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone here knows like how much I'm such a fan of like heels.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Heels. So obviously, like, you know, Nikolai's prime was, you know, way before I was born, and so I YouTubed a lot. But man, like you guys said, in terms of heat, I mean, when Nikolai Volkoff was doing the whole spiel when he came back in the '80s, that was at a time where like a lot of fans thought, you know, what they were seeing was real. So there was legitimate heat. When you talk about a heel, the classic heel who puts butts in seats so they could watch him get his ass whooped. Like, I remember reading stories about how there were sold out stadiums just to watch Hulk Hogan overcome the villain, and Nikolai Volkoff was awesome in that aspect. I just saw a YouTube clip today where he just went into a sold out arena to booze and just even ignored it and just sang the anthem, and it was just great stuff. I think that it's hard to not mention him when you think of the top heels of wrestling history. So he lived a long life, you know, given the world that we live in, and I know. Brandon after was saying after he was discharged for dehydration, he went to cardiac arrest. So it's unfortunate, but yeah, he's a legend, absolutely. So all the best, and I hope you rest in power.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, do you guys remember when Ellsworth first got hired by the WWE and he pulled out of the Tommy Dreamer House of Hardcore? He used to appear there. Well, Nikolai Volkoff was one of the guys who appeared during that. He had a few different legends appear, and Nikolai Volkoff was one of them who appeared as a replacement.
I mean, he lived a good life. I would probably say a successful life in wrestling, and our condolences go out to the Volkoff family. So we had another wrestler pass away, and I don't know much about him. Either of us do, but I have this description about Brickhouse Brown. He has died following a long battle with cancer at the age of 57. Brown was trained by Terry Funk and joined the National Wrestling Alliance in 1983. He captured the NWA Southeastern Tag Team Championships with his partner Norvell Austin. He then moved on to Championship Wrestling Association in Memphis in 1987. Beating with the likes of Terry Funk, Scott Steiner, Jerry Lawler, and Robert Fuller, and the Stud Stable. He had 3 USWA World Tag Team Championship reigns, a run with the USWA Television Championship, and the WCWA Texas Heavyweight. I know you guys don't know very much about him. I don't know if maybe you guys looked up a little bit of him. before we came onto the show. Any thoughts on Brickhouse Brown?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I did have to like Wikipedia him just to get an idea of who he was. From what I understand, he was very big in the NWA days, very prominent. I mean, it's a terrible way to pass away. I mean, he had stage 4 cancer, which essentially stage 4 in any cancer just means that it's metastasized. From what I'm reading, went to the brain. So I can't imagine how the last few years have been for him. So another wrestling. Another wrestler that passed away, and he, like you said, he's young. He's 57, so it's unfortunate, and I think it's just overall just reflects on how the feeling in the wrestling world is today.
Yeah, sad day in wrestling for sure. What about you, Dave? Any thoughts before we move on to some juicy rumors going around the wrestling world?
I don't know a lot about him. I just want to say condolences to his family, and I'm sorry. But yeah, I mean, you said Robert Fuller was one of the names?
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's Colonel Parker.
Really? I have no idea. Trevor Lee's dad, Trevor Lee's dad died also.
I don't know him either.
Big ups to Trevor Lee as I'm wearing his shirt. So a little bit of a tribute to him. So let's move on to some juicy, no pun intended, rumors going around town. And speaking of juicy, we have Juice Robinson getting some heavy rumors going around town, and that is about current NJPW IWGP United States Champion Juice Robinson addressed the recent rumors that WWE might be interested in re-signing him. As fans might be aware, he previously worked for WWE in the NXT developmental territory by the name of CJ Parker. Yes, old news, Red Sox fan. Old news, correct. Robinson said, fast forward 3 years, WWE and NXT and all this shit, everything that you guys constantly ask me about, I know because that's what we talk about. We talk about WWE, but that's in the rearview mirror. And now guess what? I ain't going back. I ain't ever going back. It's okay because guys like Cody Rhodes, guys like Kenny Omega, more guys like that, Will Ospreay, big stars, big independent stars. You can take that and you can shove it up your ass. Oh, I'm sorry. No, independent. You can take that and shove it up your ass. They're stars, baby, because I might not be a star yet, but I'm getting there. So titles do matter, and I'm doing my damnedest to make myself a star. So, Alex, your thoughts. Do you think Juice Robinson ever goes back to the WWE? I know we already have our kind of thoughts on the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, but Juice Robinson seems to be that the hot guy going around town right now. Your thoughts?
I mean, I think it's the overall thing we've always said with these guys, like never say never, right? Like they'll say all this, and then later down the road, then you see Juice Robinson's has a takeover cameo or something. But yeah, I mean, Juice Robinson is one of those cases of a guy who didn't really do as much when he was in the WWE. He left, and he's really come into his own character. I mean, I don't even think we even remember the name CJ Parker. He's really come out on his own, and yeah, he's definitely going to be a big star if at least if he stays in New Japan. I mean, he's so over, and he's been cutting some fire ass promos. I mean, Kevin Owens is high on him. Even Enzo, of all people, tweeted out just about one of Juice Robinson's promos, and yeah, he's a lot of fun. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't rule it out. I could see him trying to. I could see him in NXT somewhere down the road, but I don't think anytime this year.
What about you, Dave?
I mean, I think the big difference is that a few years ago when they were trying to get AJ Styles, and AJ Styles basically said, "I'm not going to NXT." He's not going there. He's not going to sign there. A few years pass, he ends up signing there. Like the Young Bucks, the same thing. They said a few years ago, we'll never go to the WWE. Now they're saying never say never. So, I mean, right now it seems like Juice Robinson kind of like where he still has hatreds towards the WWE and how they treated him. So, I mean, I don't think he's going to go back anytime soon. Maybe 3 or 4 years down the line, maybe. But he looks at what New Japan is basically giving him the ball. And you're the United States champion. I mean, they're giving him a big opportunity right now, and he's getting over. In the WWE, he never really got the chance. He was just the guy to put other people over who were coming in.
Yep.
And I mean, he deserves it. I mean, good for him. I'm glad he's making a bigger name for himself, and he's having killer matches. I mean, gee, I mean, him and Kenny Omega freaking killed it.
Yeah, and Omega raised his hand like right after, so it shows you like they are high on him.
Yeah, and we're going to touch on the G1 in just a few minutes here. We won't go through all the rumors so we can touch on the G1. I want to get it to class. It's, good time on with the G1. But let's go on to, speaking of New Japan, we have some more news featuring New Japan. And New Japan Pro Wrestling are aiming to re-sign WWE superstar Shinsuke Nakamura, according to everybody's favorite Dave Meltzer. Speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio, Meltzer said how he would not be shocked if Nakamura returned as well as other former New Japan stars. He said, "I know they want him back. There will be a chance for all those guys, Gallows and Anderson. And if they want to go back there, they can go back there. They're kind of treading water in WWE. Who knows how that's going to go?" Nakamura's contract with the WWE expires in a few months, with it being likely that the current United States champion will ultimately sign with WWE. I don't anticipate anyone going back there, but you just don't know how people feel and what people want out of life. So, Dave and Alex, we have some contracts coming up in the next few months. We have AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson all signed 3-year deals with the WWE back in 2016. And that means in January of 2019, their deals will be expiring. While there are no rumors about any of them leaving WWE, Meltzer says that New Japan has interest in bringing back Nakamura. So we'll go with Alex first. Do you see Nakamura going back to WWE, or do you see Nakamura staying or packing up his bags and returning back to New Japan Pro Wrestling?
Ooh. So I mean, from one standpoint, you have to look at it for him and the club. It's like if the money's good, and for the club at least, like their families in the United States, maybe they want to just stay in the area, spend more time with their families. I can see that. As the fan, though, I want Nakamura to leave. I want Nakamura to leave, take the club with him, because it's safe to say Nakamura's main roster run has been very underwhelming. Even with the United States title on him, it just shows you like how much they see him right now. So I hope so. Like I said, when he talks.
What about you, Dave?
I mean, definitely. I mean, Nakamura, I'd love to see him get out of there and go. I mean, but there's different sides to this too, because between the club, it would be awesome to see the club show up in January and join the OGs and the Bullet Club. That'd be awesome. But that's the big difference. Carl Anderson and Gallows both have families here in the U.S., and Nakamura, he has family in Japan, I'm sure. And that's the big difference to me. If he wants to, he's been doing this, he did it, and does he want to go back, or does he want to say, you know what, I don't want to give up yet, or does he want to? I mean, it just depends. I would love to see Nakamura go back too, because just imagine that return, how that return would be if he shows back up, and definitely if these other guys leave, if Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, even Cody Rhodes, if they all leave and go back to WWE. And then does Carl and Luke and Nakamura, and you said even AJ possibly his contract's up, but he said he might retire. So, I mean, yeah, I would love to see the club and Nakamura go back. I mean, that'd be best for business, no pun intended, but that would be. I mean, because Nakamura's not doing anything. He's not being used right. And we've seen this before. When Dolph Ziggler's contract's about to be up, he gets a title. I mean, he gets a title. And that's what they're trying to do with Nakamura. It seems give him the title, make him feel like he's important to them when it doesn't seem like he is. Only when your contract's up is when you're important to the WWE.
Thank you for the super hearts, Juanito. Really do appreciate those super hearts, man. You're very generous tonight. Thank you very, very much. I think out of the 4 people, I should say, that they named, Styles, we had Nakamura and Gallows and Anderson. I think the guys that most make sense, depending on their situation with their families, is that you would see the club leave. And if they want to stick into the U.S., man, why not go to Impact, or maybe go to ROH? If they want to stay in the United States, I think they're more than probably suited to go to New Japan and be fit right back at home, where they would be welcomed with open arms. AJ Styles, I just don't see it happening. I think AJ Styles is content where he's at. I think he's in a good place with the WWE. I mean, he's been the champion for how long now? Might even pass CM Punk. He's on the cover of their video game. I think once his contract's up, they're going to give him a better deal, probably give him more money, maybe even less dates. Who knows? Maybe he'll get the John Cena treatment. But I don't see Styles leaving. Nakamura, on the other hand, that's probably the 50-50 situation there. I think if Nakamura wants to be and have some great matches and possibly be booked better, he'll probably jump to New Japan Pro Wrestling. But if he's, like I said, content where he's at and doesn't mind the travel and, he might stick with WWE. It all depends. And then there's also the Styles rumors about retirement. So it's going to be a very interesting situation come January of 2019. Also, WWE has reportedly been interested in 3 wrestlers from the independent scene. We touched on Juice Robinson. Also, other one was Matt Riddle, who's been already rumored to have signed with the WWE, and they're already saying that he may show up at maybe Brooklyn TakeOver. Is the rumors there? And then there's also a third name mentioned by everybody's favorite Dave Meltzer, the former Lucha Underground star Angelico. Meltzer says that WWE has interested in him for a few years on and off. His Lucha Underground contract was originally an issue, but he has since left the company. This doesn't necessarily mean that they are all signing, just that WWE has interested in them. It will be interesting to see if any of these end up happening. Do you guys know anything about Angelico?
Just from Lucha Underground, and he was on in the Progress Strong Style. I mean, he's athletic as hell, and he's on the bigger side. He's like, I think 6'3" or something like that. So I could see them. I could see him like having a decent run, something different, but nothing.
What about you, Dave? I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying nothing that stood out as like special, like Matt Riddle for sure.
Adam Bond says Angelico might go to Impact instead. Angelico has serious high-flying skills, says Red Sox fan. All right, I always believe what you're telling, but he keeps getting hurt. He's a taller Ricochet, says Adam Bomb. Okay, all right, all right. There's another spoiler, just in case you guys are interested to know the possible rumored card for SummerSlam, everybody. And we already have a couple of matches so far. They said, don't be surprised to see one of the SummerSlam matchups already confirmed change. Don't get your hopes up. It's not Reigns and Lesnar. Hearing the IC title match may not end up being Rollins versus Ziggler one-on-one. Finn Balor seems like someone who can get added to this match based on what happened on Raw last week. It will be interesting to see what happens as we build towards the show. Maybe WWE adds Baron Corbin, Balor, or even Drew McIntyre into the mix. Alex, what would you rather see? A straight-up one-on-one match between Rollins and Ziggler, or would you like to see more people added into the mix?
If they do Rollins versus Ziggler again, I would like to just if they do it, I want it to be like a stipulation like that. That would be perfect for a ladder match. I think it would be a big match that SummerSlam would benefit from, as long as the crowd and there's no countdown clock with ladder matches, so that'll be good. But I could see. I was telling Dave this. I think they're going to add Drew. I think this is when we start to see Drew and Ziggler get a little bit of a little bit of a conflict, and I think Drew's way too big to not have a match at SummerSlam, so I can see them adding him in this.
All right, what about you, Dave?
I'm definitely not interested in Ziggler and Rollins at one-on-one. So yeah, if they want to add 4 or 5 people, why not? I mean, we all know Balor's not going to win, so I mean, likely Rollins will probably win his title back or something like that, because he's not going to be the world champion. So you got to keep Rollins involved in this whole little circle. So yeah.
And SummerSlam also is kind of known for their ladder matches. I mean, you've had Shawn and Razor, you've had Rock and Triple H. So you've had some classic ladder matches at SummerSlam, and this could be another classic ladder match if they threw a ladder match on the card. That's just my opinion on it. So one more news and note, and then we'll get to the G1. Speculation on who will be the next call-ups from NXT. The rest of we already have Nikki Cross. With Aleister Black losing the NXT Championship to Tommaso Ciampa, I think that could indicate that call-up soon to me. Black is ready for the main roster. This is a call-up. He's extremely talented in the ring, and his character is something that I think will go over well with the main roster fans. They said maybe his call-up to be maybe possible the Royal Rumble entrant in 2019. They think another one is Bobby Fish. Not sure how that would work. Him, I guess, going up as a singles competitor. They said, I don't see anyone from the Undisputed Era getting called up any soon. I think they will wait until Bobby Fish's knee is completely healed and bring them as an entire faction. Seems more like after WrestleMania 35 to me. They all have the talent to be called up, but I think WWE will wait until the right time. Another one is Gargano and Ciampa. They clearly have the talent to be on the main roster already, but I think there's just still a story to be told between them. I'm guessing they are still a few NXT TakeOver events away from being called up. Dave, if you could guess on maybe 2 for sure call-ups to the WWE in the next, I say by 2019, what do you got?
Oh, I guess you go Black and Shayna Baszler.
Okay. What about you, Alex?
Yeah, I would have to agree with Dave. If any one of the Undisputed, I think we've all talked about how we're worried about them. They need to be brought as a unit.
Now, who's a possible dark horse? Because remember when Alexa Bliss was drafted to SmackDown, and I was like, what the fuck? Really her? You know, at a Carmella as well. Who do you think will be the dark horse? Someone that we don't even think will get called up, but will. We'll go with you first, Dave.
Well, everyone seems to be favorite. What is her name? Bianca Belair, I think it is. I can see her being a dark horse. No pun intended, but yeah.
Dream, maybe EC3. Okay, what about you, Alex?
Well, I agree with all those, so I'll just throw one out. Ciampa. I mean, if this is all leading to Gargano winning the title, it makes no sense for them to stay on the same roster for the few 10, you know?
Okay, all right, fair points by all of them. I would think the dark horse would be a tag team, and I got to go with my boys.
Let me guess, Street Profits. Oh my God,
Street Profits, brother, the Street Profits, man. Come on now, man. Put the Street Profits on Raw or SmackDown, boy.
Well, I'm sure that Jose needs a new Conga member. Why not?
Oh man, y'all are just some haters, man. What, y'all, all these people who hate on the Street Profits when they get moved up or they're tag team champions, I don't want y'all to be jumping on that bandwagon, all right? I don't want y'all to be buying those Street Profits T-shirts and stuff, okay?
Well, hell, if they go to Raw, I mean, they could definitely win the tag titles. Like, look who the tag champions are at Raw now. So, not much.
Raw, you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna put them with fucking Titus. They're gonna put them with Titus and be part of Titus Worldwide. Because you know that's what they're going to do. But y'all are just Street Profits haters. All right, so let's go to the G1. I know Alex and Dave have been itching to talk about this for the last couple of days. I know Alex finally caught up yesterday. So, Alex, you're the man on stage. Go ahead.
Do Japan time.
Yeah, I literally just did like a flash catch up on I pretty much missed the whole week. So it's been we're getting closer, guys. I mean, the finals are 2 weeks. What's today? Yeah, 2 weeks away. So we've had some great matches. I think Dave and I talked about this last week. It's a bit uneven in terms of the talent. It's clear that the B block is pretty much the bigger one that you're expecting all the great matches to come from. A block has its good matches for sure, but I think B is definitely the one everyone keeps watching out for. So big ones that I've seen so far that I just want to give a shout out to is last night. I mean this weekend. I mean Block B we had Ibushi versus Ishii, which I think is probably so far the match of the tournament because that was just a brawl. That was just spots after spots, just hard hitting. And Tony brought it up yesterday, so I watched a little bit closer. I know people on Twitter were getting mad about Ibushi not selling the German and the suplex, and it's kind of like just how it is right now in wrestling. Right now, it's just you have these moments where you see these crazy ass moves that back in the day, like we would be like, that's it. Like in the early 2000s, when I would see Petey Williams do a Canadian destroyer, I'm like, that's it. No one's from that. And now, like, you see like Canadian destroyers being done like in every federation, whether it's like 200 people versus like 3,000. You're getting that type of stuff. So it's what you expect from these two. It was still a damn good match, and also Kenny Omega faced Sonata, which was another great match. Juice Robinson continues to kill it. And then from the previous one, Ibushi and Sonata, man, if you want athleticism, that was the match to watch for sure. So it's been a lot of fun stuff. I'm just trying to look back and see.
Now, can I say one thing real quick? One thing real quick. All right. You know, I always give praise to Ibushi. He's one of the guys that I don't think I've ever said one negative thing about him. And I did mention about the whole non-selling issue when he took the superplex off the top rope. He stands up, and then literally after that gets German suplex and still stands up. And I'm like, come on now, man. If someone in the WWE did that, you know how much shit they would get on Twitter, or, I mean, seriously, an Impact, any promotion. If someone did that, I mean, they would get heat. They would get shitted on. Why is it okay that Ibushi does it? That he does, I mean, I see people talk about it, but they always have I guess I would say an excuse for it.
It's more so a bias. I think people just love Ibushi so much, and like I said, like a lot of these times, like I think we talked about it, like we see this a lot with a lot of wrestling today. But remember, a lot of the times people give heat are the people that just watch that video clip. They don't watch the whole match. So when you're in that moment watching it, you're just investing. You hear the crowd going crazy. You get into it, but I definitely understand the gripe. I still think moves like the German suplex should be treated as such. I think it's a very devastating maneuver still.
Right.
And I'm not the biggest fan. I agree with that. But like I said, it's my biased love for Ibushi that I'm just like, I don't care. It's fine.
And also, I mean, I get it. I get it. He's known for the non-selling shit. But I love Ibushi, but it'd be nice. I mean, a suplex off the top rope, I mean, come on, man. That knocks both guys out sometimes for like a team count. And this guy gets up and just stares into the crowd, and then gets a German suplex, and then just stands up and stares. I'm not sure what happened after that. I haven't seen the match, but my God, I mean,
yeah.
Holy moly. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
There's a couple like Matt Riddle and Keith Lee. Like whenever they would go to war, you would just see them exchange like 7 Germans, and they just get up, and I'm like, what the hell? But the crowd's like so into it, so it kind of like biases you to say, all right, I'm invested in the match. So I would just say for anyone that like isn't the biggest fan, I would just try and watch the match to see if you get invested, and in that moment you don't care for it. But I agree. Ibushi is not the biggest on selling, and it's more so the timing of the selling. It's like sometimes he'll sell, and then all of a sudden he'll just like fire up a little bit, like a little bit of a Hogan moment. So yeah, I agree with that part. But yeah, no, some great matches there. And so far, as I'm thinking, Dave, tell me what you've been thinking about this week.
Just comment on what you guys are just talking about. My personal opinion, if you're just going to watch a clip on Twitter, then you should, no offense, Tony, then you should sit down and shut up, because you're just watching it. You're going off of what you've seen from one little clip, one little GIF.
It's not all that. He's also known for that. He's known for not selling moves. And I mean, I haven't seen it personally, because every time I've seen a match, I think he does a phenomenal job. But when I see it in a GIF, yeah, it was a GIF, but still, he takes a suplex off the top rope, stands up, takes a suplex, German suplex, who lands on his head and gets up. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
5 seconds. I mean, no, I'll admit I didn't see the whole match. He probably sold a lot during the match as well. Maybe that particular moment he didn't. But, I mean, come on now. You know what I mean?
I understand what you're saying. My point is, if people want to complain about that, fine. If you sat there and watched this show and watched that match, these matches, they don't sell, then fine, complain all you want. But my point is, people want to go on Twitter and see something and like, oh, that's stupid. They're no selling at all. Well, I just hate that part when people do that. But now I want to talk about some highlights that I like. Now it's Zack Sabre time. I mean, man, that I love what that Tama Tonga and Zack Sabre match is fun as hell. Even though there's like 20 guys involved, but still, it was still fun. I mean, Zack Sabre. Kudos to Tony. First told me watch out for this guy in the Cruiserweight Classic. I was more of an Ibushi fan, but yeah. But Zack Sabre is so fun to watch. I mean, man, and just the match him and Tonga had was awesome. Not him and Ibushi as well, because they kill it every time they get in the ring. But man, that was one of my favorite matches this week. Just Sabre and watching him wrestle in general, because he just. And that's another thing. You don't see a lot of. You don't think you see any high spots with Zack Sabre, hardly at all, if he does any. But man. I mean, when he goes out there and he raps, you want different styles. That's what New Japan has. If you like the high spots, you're going to get your high spots. You're going to see Kenny Omega jump in off the top rope into the crowd. You're going to see stuff like that. If you like wrestling, Zack Sabre Jr. is going to give you straight up, twist you up in a knot type of wrestling. If you like the physicalness, Suzuki's going to give you the physicalness. Just ask Jay White about that. I mean, I'm just saying, that match with Jay White, woo, man. I mean, that match was, you want to talk about stiff? That was stiff. And I believe that was his first loss of the tournament, Mr. Jay White. Yeah. Yeah,
of course he was going to lose to Suzuki. Of course. And when I saw that matchup, of course, I knew he was losing. I knew it.
I mean, he was going to die.
And also Adam Page, another guy, and Michael Elgin. I mean, two guys who've been out there killing it as well. And Juice Robinson, I mean, there's so many matches you could talk about. I told Alex we could spend like 2 hours talking about just New Japan.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's so many matches out there that you could and want to talk about, but there's not really a lot of time to talk about 8 hours of just New Japan matches. I mean, we could do a video every time we watch an episode, and it'll be every single day.
It's 3 hours every day.
Yeah, so just think about that. I mean, yeah, it's 3 hours. But you don't need to watch the first hour because all this is tag matches, but still. I mean, yeah, it's fun. I mean, it really helps me to realize that I'm really enjoying this wrestling I'm watching. This is the first I've ever watched the G1. This and Impact as well. I give Impact credit as well, too, because I'm enjoying that as well, too. And like I've told Tony and Alexis, I'm finding myself not able to enjoy WE as much as a fan anymore because I'm criticizing it so much and watching it. I'm annoyed with the booking they do. When I'm watching New Japan Impact, I'm able to sit there and enjoy it as a fan. And that's the biggest difference. But, yeah, I mean, I guess there's awesome matches. Watch the G1. Check it out. It's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. And
also, this isn't really quick.
Red Sox fan. Go ahead.
This isn't New Japan related or nothing, but I got to give a shout out to this match. It was freaking awesome. I watched it today. The Impact show they did today on Twitch was shit except one match. That freaking 6-way ladder match was freaking awesome. People should go check that out. This Cam Carter, I've never heard of him, but man, he is awesome.
Oh, look at Scaponi with the Bolsheviks. We love the Bolsheviks. Well, thank you for joining us, dude. We just touched on Vladimir just beginning of the show. If you're new to the show, before I let me finish with Alex. I don't mean to interrupt you. So, Alex, some of the upcoming matches that are coming up this week.
Oh, shit, yeah. So for tomorrow, tonight into tomorrow is Block A. So the two big matches I think there is Elgin versus Okada, but then we got Jay White versus Hangman Page. I'm excited for that.
Ooh, that should be a good one.
Yeah.
Their first match they had, that was a pretty good one. That one should be a good. Now, any predictions?
I think Page might have to take this one because he hasn't been doing the best in the G1. But overall, I still think Jay White's winning his block. I think the finals are still gonna be Jay White versus. I think the finals will still be Jay White versus Ibushi. What about you, Dave?
Man, I'm really excited to see Elgin and Okada because talking about Okada, now he started out losing, yes, but I believe he's at 6 points now, and so is Jay White still at 6 points as well?
Yes, if not, maybe one ahead. I know Jay White's leading, but I think Okada's like number 2 on the block A.
Yeah, so that Okada's having some fantastic matches too. I mean, yes, he just beat Yoshihashi. I get it, but he also had a great match with Paige. I mean, yeah, I mean the match before Ibushi Sonata. I can't remember who he faced, but do you remember who that was?
What, a Sonata match?
Yeah, before Ibushi, the one before that. I can't remember. I'm trying to think of who that was.
No, he faced Zach. He fought Zach and he won.
Yeah, that's right. That was that. I couldn't think of it, but yeah, that match is awesome too. I mean, holy shit. I mean, these were some man. I mean, if you like good wrestling, I mean, Suzuki is so fun to watch. I mean, this dude, holy shit. I love Suzuki. I have so many guys in Japan right now. Before we talked about this before on here, but back in January when we first started watching with Jericho, then yeah, it was fun. I didn't know any of these guys. Now, 6-7 months later, I know like every guy I'm watching on the TV, and that's the biggest difference for me to watch it. I told Alex this is that I have a familiarity with these wrestlers. I know almost everyone in the ring.
Okay, so predictions. Who you got? Okada, Elgin?
Okada.
Okay, and then the next match.
Jay White. I gotta say Jay White wins that.
Go talk about your total bellas on show some. Hey man, be nice, Red Sox fan. Calm down there, calm down. Did the Red Sox lose tonight? Any other matches? I know that one's this tonight. Any matches in the next couple of days? That looking forward to.
They start back, yeah. So tomorrow will be Block A, and then they start back for Block B on Wednesday. And I think the biggest match on Block B on Wednesday, we haven't seen this in New Japan as far as I know, is Kenny Omega versus Zack Sabre Jr., which I think is going to be. And Tony, you know Kenny's been working hurt in this tournament?
No, I have not. I know he's undefeated, correct?
Yeah, but he in his match with Cody, USA Special, he's working with a fractured heel.
Ow! How do you even wrestle with that fractured heel, Alex? Please explain.
A lot of padding, a lot of adrenaline. I mean, normally if it's just like a hairline fracture, that shit takes about probably like 6 to 8 weeks, give or take. With like so the question is that like now they're trying to throw into the story, but he still has like a couple matches ahead of him. And then so that ends August 12th, and then he has All In on September 1st. So he really only has like.
How can you even wrestle with a fractured heel? Like, how is that even possible? Like the way he wrestles, you know.
And not even just wrestling. He's still putting on some great matches. Like the quality has not gone down with that. So it's just unreal, like the pain that he's going through. Like holy shit. So
how's that possible, Alex? Like I don't understand. Like, how can he walk properly with the fractured heel? Does he have to wear a boot? Does he?
Yeah, if you notice, like for anyone that's watching the G1, Omega is on his tiptoes a lot. Like he tries to not keep himself grounded as much. You'll even see, like, I don't know if it's more so he's selling to tell the story or so, but he'll do certain moves where he lands on his feet, and you'll see a little shake in his step. But he uses a lot of padding, from what I understand. And but no, it is painful, man. I mean, the fact that he's able to bear weight on it shows you that it's just like it doesn't seem like a serious fracture, but it's a fracture nonetheless, and that shit's painful from what I understand.
Now, when is the G1 finals itself?
It will be August 12th, so 2-3 Sundays from now.
Now, are you trying to predicting that maybe Kenny Omega gets maybe wiped out of the tournament?
Yeah,
since All In is at September, is just around the corner, and he probably wants to perform to his fullest at the show.
Yeah, so the way that the G1 works, like irregardless, like when you get to like the final blocks, even if like you're pretty much not guaranteed to go, like you still do a showcase, kind of like I guess the World Cup, where like the second placers still play a match just because. So I could see them kind of changing his last few matches, probably do a little bit of shenanigans to kind of keep him protected. I mean, he has one match against Yano coming up, so I don't see him doing much.
Yeah, you would think also with Sabre, with his submission holds, that's got to be a little bit of a kind of scary situation where I wonder how that match is actually going to go down.
He's definitely wrestling to the end because August 11th, literally the B Block finals, it's going to be Kenny Omega versus Kota Ibushi. It's already scheduled. So he's going to – I don't know how, but he's going to find a way to make that match happen. Like, you kind of have to. I think it is really the biggest match for me, I think.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Sabre actually beats Kenny Omega with like a heel, unless it's not part of the storyline as well, plus being legit, which I believe it is, and that you could have Zack Sabre. Yeah, you could have Sabre hook him in like a heel hook, and he just taps out from the pain.
Yeah, I think Zach's definitely going for that. Commentary now is like really starting to talk about the heel injury.
I know I'm not. We'll get to the ending of this, and I'm not too familiar on how New Japan Pro Wrestling matches work in itself. I don't know if all matches are a certain length of time, but is it possible maybe I wouldn't consider it a squash match, but maybe Sabre catches Omega quickly and he taps like in a span of maybe a 5-minute match? Is that possible?
You could have that. I mean, these matches, some of them like Sonata versus Zach, like I thought that was going to get some time, but it actually was only 10 minutes, but it was a lot of fun. But yeah, they can definitely play around with the time for sure. It's not always a guaranteed 20 match.
And you could always go because these matches are 30 minutes long. There's a 30-minute time limit on these matches, so they haven't done it yet that I've seen, unless I missed it.
How you doing tonight, man? Thank you for joining us.
All right, but you could still do a draw. You could have a 30-minute draw if they want to do something like that.
Yeah, I mean, just to give you an idea, his next matches before Ibushi is he's facing Ishii, so he's getting his ass. He's definitely going to take a beating from that. But then he's facing like Yano, who's as Dave knows.
Don't sleep on Yano, bro. It's in the title.
No, I know, but in terms of how the match will be like scheduled, like I could see that being his like light match, and then after that he's facing after that he's facing Ibushi. So if he can work that match with Zach, and I think with
appreciate that.
So I think there's gonna be a lot of shenanigans. So I think he just has to get through Zack Sabre, Ishii, and hopefully get some rest before Ibushi, because I know he's not holding back when it comes to that Kota match.
Yeah, I'm really follow Smart Spot, another great podcast here on Periscope, and they show support to us, so we definitely show support to them. It's just crazy to think he has a fractured heel and he's wrestling the way he's doing, like flying out of the ring. And I can't imagine, like you said, holding back against Ibushi. I can only imagine what's in store in that match. And major props. You said that the injury is legit, and I'm going to believe you on that. And props to Kenny Omega for wrestling in such a crazy injury like that. And we're going to touch on Tonga news as well, because he's been getting into some news with another Samoan on a different company that we will mention here in a little bit. Is there anything else on New Japan before we wrap it up and get into some more wrestling news as well? Yes, I know Juice Robinson's also hurt as well.
Just the current standings. I mean, on Block A, the top 3 are tied at 6. It's Jay White.
Sorry, Bobruski.
It's let's see. The top standing so far is Jay White is still leading his Block A, which I know Tony is happy to hear about that. I still think he's gonna most likely win his block. But from the B side is the more dynamic side. I mean, Omega's still leading, but you have Naito right behind him, and then tied up you have Sonata, Zack Sabre, Kota. Any of those, I mean, shit, I know I'm going all in for Ibushi, but I wouldn't rule out Sonata or even Naito making it to the finals. So the B block is definitely the more dynamic in terms of what you may think could happen. I think A is pretty much going to go to Jay White.
All right. Anything else, Dave, before we go into some more NXT, Chris Jericho, and some Mae Young Classic stuff?
No, this should be fun.
Yeah, Brian Christopher, some sad news. Yes, Jay White versus Ibushi or Sonata would be great to watch. Hey, how come you weren't on last night? Oh, DX, we weren't on last night. Had some family stuff to take care of, so we have a special edition of Shoot the Shit, which is live tonight. Next week, we'll be back at the normal Saturday night time slot, and then we'll be back again Tuesday night for our SmackDown and Raw post show. Everything's still the same, just had a different mix up. But we might have to maybe switch up Saturdays to Sundays, because if this is a better day for Alex to show up, we might have to do that. So more details in the future on that. Thank you, Smart Spot. Really appreciate that. All right, so let's go into some WWE NXT news. Let me see. Oh, okay. WWE's $1 billion broadcasting deal for SmackDown Live will begin Fox in the fall of 2019, and there has been much speculation about other plans the network has for WWE, with some rumors surrounding NXT moving to Fox Sports 1. There has not been an announcement that NXT or anything else is going to be on FS1, but there has been a guarantee to me. I actually talked to someone that has guaranteed that they will be on FS1. In fact, NXT takeovers will be moving from the WWE network to FS1 starting in late 2019. It looks like they want to increase the number of NXT takeovers as well. That's not something I'm very happy to hear. From 4 to 5 to at least 8.
Whoa!
That's what I hear, and that may start late in 2019. Your thoughts, Alex?
I mean, I'm happy that they're getting a TV deal, but at the same time, once they get a TV deal, does that mean Triple H will still run it? Will Vince take over? Because now once you get a TV deal, it's just a question of what can you do for ratings. So, I'm just concerned that Vince will try to use the main what he's trying to do on the main roster for ratings, even though it's not working that well for NXT. So as long as Triple H stays in control and they're keeping the same formula, I'm fine with it. I think we've all said we've always looked at the NXT formula to see what we could do about it, but it's just working now. I wouldn't mind an extra half an hour, like an hour and a half show, but yeah, I guess all I'm saying is really, as long as Vince stays away from it,
as long as it stays the same, you'll be fine with it. But what about the 8 takeovers? Your thoughts on that?
8, I think 8 is a bit of an overkill. I mean, I wouldn't mind an extra one just so you can get all these guys. I mean, we had a takeover where Adam Cole was not in the mat. Like, they didn't have anything for Adam Cole, and they want to keep the 5-match formula. So in that sense, I'm okay with it, but I think 8's overkill.
Why not keep the same takeover format, but make them longer? You want to go that?
Were they planning on doing that? Wasn't that another plan they had, that to possibly make the takeovers start an hour earlier now?
Yes, that's also has been rumored as well. But why not instead of saying we'll have a set time, 3 hours takeovers instead of, because they usually run about 2 hours. All right, we'll have takeover 3 hours. Takeovers will have maybe they can advance it to 5 takeovers instead of. I mean, maybe I think they have it's Money in the Bank, Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, WrestleMania, Survivor Series. So there's 5 right now. They want to add another one, I'm fine with it. But 8 is goddamn, that's an overkill, man. They might as well just have takeovers every fucking pay-per-view if they're gonna go that route. I mean, shit. I mean, I'd rather have them have it the 5. It's perfect. If they want to add an extra one, fine, that's okay as well. Maybe they have a special, as I was gonna say, maybe a special TV one, but obviously that's not gonna happen because they're gonna move takeovers from the network. That to me doesn't make sense. But I really would rather them do that. Yeah, like you're right. Adam Cole wasn't on a takeover. But if it was 3 hours long, he would have been on that takeover. Your thoughts, Dave?
Now, is it just the takeovers or NXT in general since we moved to FS1, right?
Everything.
Yeah. So that means the network's going to be basically left without a show, basically, because before they had at least NXT to drive people to the network, and now they're not even going to have that.
What about
that's crazy. No one watches that shit.
Yeah, everybody watched Camp WWE. I mean, that's what everybody got the WWE Network for, right? For Camp WWE. I mean, come on.
I mean, I think yeah. I mean, I get it. I get why they're doing it, because they're losing the UFC, so they want to use NXT as kind of the UFC in a way. So you're going to get 8 takeovers because they want to have more shows pop on, like they would with like those UFC show tonight or the UFC fight cards. Like you'd get one every couple months. So they want to probably expand that. they probably want to expand that. You know, we're going to give you more takeovers than we gave you UFC.
Thank you.
But I get 8 is a lot. I agree. And I also don't want Vince near this either. But it seems like will NXT start changing now that it's actually going to be making money, though, for the WE2 now. So that changes. So will it become more of a watered-down WE version of NXT now, like what you see Raw and SmackDown, where it's all going to be a lot of crap? And hopefully that means NXT will go longer at least a little bit, at least 2 hours or something like that. And does this mean will we get live episodes during the week now? So that's another. And if that's the case, I'd be happy with that. I mean, yeah, it depends what night they want to run it on, but yeah, it's going to be interesting, especially in the fall whenever this starts with NXT. So fall's pretty big for them on the weekends, and Saturdays are usually when they do takeovers, and they usually do college basketball.
I'm curious to see how the numbers affect the network. It probably won't affect them much, but press 1 in the chat room if you have NXT, if you have the network just for NXT alone. That's the only reason why. You have it for the pay-per-views, of course, but also NXT. If NXT moves from the network, which is being rumored to happen, would you consider, I wouldn't say canceling it. It depends on how loyal of a wrestling WWE fan you are. You know, would you cancel networks? The network because NXT is moving. If you weren't,
I don't know why people would.
Go ahead, Dave.
I don't know why people would, because you can get NXT. I mean, if people have Hulu, you can watch NXT on Hulu.
That's very true, and they may do it to where, like how they have it with Raw and SmackDown now, they have it on on regular TV, and it may be like in a week or two it'll be on the network. So
that's more than a week or two.
Okay, well, all right, fair enough. So let's move on to some other news. Chris Jericho, current New Japan Pro Wrestling IWGP Intercontinental Champion Chris Jericho recently responded to a fan on Twitter who asked him if he would ever consider joining Impact Wrestling.
Oh, I knew this would come up.
Chris, I know you're busy with Japan and your music career, but would you ever consider going to Impact Wrestling? And simple answer was, of course. Your thoughts, Alex? Do you ever, in a million years, think we'll see Chris Jericho inside a Impact Wrestling ring?
Holy crap! I mean, I guess we have to do the never say never, but I mean, with all the talk and how Impact's been going with Don Callis there, you'd have to think it's more and more likely. I could see it. I don't, but as of right now, I'm saying no. Because if Jericho can do Impact, then what's to stop him from showing up at like their ROH New Japan show at WrestleMania? Things like that. Like that just opens up a whole possibilities. I think Vince would absolutely flip a shit because could you imagine Jericho on Impact?
Oh man. That would be mind blowing.
Bigger goat, in my opinion, if he actually was able to touch U.S. soil. Not
it doesn't have to be.
Because Mavs fans says no way. Too much respect for Vince. Maybe after Vince retires.
Vince is never retiring.
What if the show's in Canada? What if the show's in Canada? I'm just saying, it's not U.S. soil.
Oh my God.
It's gonna be interesting, man. I
could see it. I mean, I seriously could. I could see it happening. I mean, he got Don Callis and Scott D'Amore the job, and they're always dropping Chris Jericho's name on the show. And I never thought in a million years I would see Chris Jericho tweeting about Slammiversary either. I never saw that coming at all, and that was crazy when he was doing that. And I could definitely see a Jericho and Sami Callihan match. I could definitely see that. And let's not forget, now we got something else. You're going to talk about the Conan and LAX thing too with Young Bucks. So I mean, man, that's another. I mean, I could see it. And let's think about it. I mean, Jericho can basically do whatever he wants. I mean, and they said Jericho would do it at events. Jericho said in an interview that if they want to pay me a lot of money, I will come wrestle on U.S. soil. But I won't do it for a low amount of money. It's going to cost you a lot of money to get him to wrestle in the U.S. He did say, people keep going back to think, oh, he would never do that to Vince. He said he wouldn't unless it was for a lot of money. And if Impact's going to pay him a lot of money, then why not?
I think that's reasonable given how big Jericho is. Like, yeah, you would shell out money for him.
Yeah.
No effects said he asked Vince before fighting Omega. I mean, I think Jericho does have a found respect for Vince McMahon. And to say he doesn't is kind of silly because Vince McMahon, like you said, lets Jericho do pretty much whatever the fuck he wants. I mean, Jericho can come and leave whenever he wants. I think he has that respect for Vince McMahon just for that reason alone. And
Vince do it.
If Callis came up to Jericho and said, hey, would you come on Bound for Glory or whatever, just for one night only? Maybe maybe show up, maybe have one match. Would you do it? I'm sure he would say, yeah, I'll think about it, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure he would ask Vince. I'm sure he would. I'm definitely sure he would run it by Vince McMahon because he does. I just think that's just Chris Jericho. I just think he's just that type of a person. I don't see that he would just go up there and just go behind their back like that without running by Vince. Hey, I'm going to be showing up here. It's nothing serious. They're offering me this much money, this one match. I'm sure that same thing he probably told him with New Japan Pro Wrestling. But let's get to some happy news, especially for Alex. WWE officials have reportedly been impressed by SmackDown Live newcomer Andrade Cien Almas, and there is some talk that he could be in line for a big push in the coming months. WWE higher-ups were particularly pleased with the former NXT champion after his match against WWE champion AJ Styles on last week's episode of SmackDown Live. Alex, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I read the news earlier this week, and obviously it's dirt sheets, but I was excited. I was excited to hear that. I mean, it's given how we all think about NXT call-ups and how they do on the main roster, he has been getting more push. I mean, you'd be surprised how high people got on Almas when you actually put him on TV consistently. I mean, he had a good match he had a great showing actually with AJ, and he got a win over Rusev, who's been fairly pushed. I mean, he just had a match with AJ for the title. So I hope it's something serious. I don't know who he's going to take a title off of, though, apart from AJ, who I think is going to be tied up with Samoa Joe. And the U.S. title is either going to be Nakamura. I don't see Jeff Hardy winning it back. But, yeah, man, I mean, I can only just hope they don't drop the ball. I mean, it's not like they have Kalisto or Sin Cara to rely on as their Latin superstars. So I hope they take it seriously.
About you, Dave?
Oh, yeah, good for him. I mean, I could definitely see something with him and Rey Mysterio if Rey Mysterio comes back. I could definitely see that.
Oh, we can only hope if that. Let's hope his anger is better than Alberto's backstage. Yes. Let's all pray and hope that Cien Almas doesn't have a breakdown of any type of sorts.
How about not just Almas, but what we're seeing from Selena Vega? How she's sitting there on Instagram or whatever it was, calling out Lana and all that. So this is interesting. Awesome. Are we actually going to get to see her wrestle now? So I'm excited.
Tag match, SummerSlam. Intergender tag match at SummerSlam. Calling it now. Intergender match at SummerSlam. Lana and Rusev taking on Almas and Vega.
But
I would just like to turn the ring.
Vega's in her own right. I mean, she kills it on the mic. I mean, she's my wife.
She's awesome in the ring, too. Yeah, she's your wife.
There. But no,
I know he can handle himself. I just don't. You know how the other guys are in wrestling. You know what I'm saying. All right, so AJ Styles was recently interviewed on the possibility of passing CM Punk's WWE title reign. His answer was pretty much wrestling WWE type answer. I just have my sights set on retaining the championship. The guys I'm going up against are freaking amazing. So Rusev guys coming back like Randy Orton. I guess he's all better since he's beating up Jeff Hardy. But there's a lot of guys that are going to have to compete with. So I'm just hoping to retain the basic WWE answer. He also was asked about the Brock Lesnar part-time schedule. And he says, I don't care what anybody says. Brock Lesnar is what we call a draw. People come to see Brock Lesnar, and the fact that he hasn't defended it in a while, that's on WWE. That's on Kurt Angle and everybody else who has anything to do with it. I do what I do. I'm a fighting champion. Like you said, I'm going to defend my championship. I'm going to give the championship the respect it deserves. So, any thoughts on that, guys?
I mean, I'm happy AJ's getting this lengthy reign to add under it. I always just think AJ's better as a cheat, like on the chase, if he's going to stay at face. So I hope Samoa Joe. I hope this is ending with Samoa Joe winning. But yeah, I'm happy he's getting a long title run. I mean, his title reign itself in terms of feuds, I mean, hasn't been the best, especially given that most of it was with Nakamura. I think we've all talked about how that went. But I think we get something really great between him and Joe. I'm more excited for it now.
What about you, Dave?
Yeah, I'm excited for that match. And I mean, what he was saying, I mean, hey, good for him. I don't really think he's really a big fan of CM Punk's anyway, so that's probably why he didn't really answer the CM Punk thing. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's gonna be fun. My only wish they could add Chris Daniels to this match, but yeah, I mean, this is gonna be good. That'd be my dream. Could you imagine that SummerSlam triple threat: Chris Daniels versus Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles? Hey, geez, I never thought. Yeah,
thank you.
I never thought I would ever see Joe and AJ for the WE title at SummerSlam. That's just crazy.
Daniels is so old, though. Joe gets treated like crap. Cedric dropped shade on Neville. Yeah, we saw that. Our friend of the show, Jay Leto, tweeted out to Cedric Alexander a picture of Neville saying this is a perfect opportunity to have Neville come back and go after Cedric. And he pretty much said, you misspelled quitter, pretty much calling Neville a quitter. Interesting to say that. He didn't really have to. I'm not sure if there's any real beef between Cedric Alexander and Neville. But Alex, do you think – I'm not sure the contract situation with Neville. I'm not sure how long he's under WWE. But what do you think about this? We're going to touch on that next, Red Sox fan.
I mean, he did walk out. I mean, I guess I understand everyone's like, talking about, Neville wasn't being used right. Absolutely, I agree with that. But at the end of the day, you're in a contract with your business company, and you walk out on it. What do you expect was going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, look at the shit Austin did when they quote unquote took his bags and went home. I mean, look at the shit he got. So
look at CM.
From that side, yeah, I'm not surprised how that WWE is pretty much freezing. Like they're freezing his contract, so they can pretty much prolong him actually getting out. But as a fan of Neville, obviously, I think he will kill it anywhere he goes, whether it's the independent scene. Hell, even I tweeted out Slammiversary when it started. I was like, oh my god, could you imagine if Neville was in this that Fatal 4-Way or something? Hell, New Japan, why not? But yeah, I don't know if it's so much that Cedric has a personal beef with Neville more than that just they're just frustrated with that people are like talking about Neville when they've been the ones staying there and kind of dealing with whatever they've been booked with, Right.
And he even said, question 2, Cedric was saying that he said Neville basically was tired of the way he was booked and that he packed his bags and went home. And he said, yeah, he quit.
Yeah.
I mean, Neville did a lot for 205 Live, brought some people to 205 Live. Him and also Austin Aries had some pretty good matches as well. And they just it's just sad. I think it's sad that those two guys were in the spotlight at the wrong time. Imagine if Neville and Aries were still now there. I think Aries wasn't probably happy at being on 205 Live. I'm sure he probably thought he should be on the main roster. He has more than a right to think that. Same with Neville. But they were tearing the roof down. And I think they would be booked a lot better if Triple H was booking them instead of Vince McMahon.
Even Aries said it. One of his really biggest regrets of the WWE Universe didn't really get to see what Austin Aries really could be. So.
Exactly. Right, exactly. I totally agree with you on that. Now, we have a couple of more things we'll talk about, and then we're going to start wrapping up the show. Again, thank you, everybody, for all the super hearts and regular hearts again. Go ahead, Dave. Yeah.
I just want to give my thoughts on the Neville thing.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, they better be careful, the WE that is. Because, I mean, look what's happening right now. Like we mentioned, Austin Aries. They basically let him go. He's a world champion in Impact Wrestling right now. Well, they let it. Yes, there were circumstances. I get it. I understand the circumstances, and I understand why they did it. But Rich Swann, they let go. He's in Impact right now. Yes, he's injured, but he seems like he's going to be killing it when he comes back. And if they let Neville go, I would not be surprised he ends up in Impact as well.
Yeah.
I mean, look at. I mean, these guys. I mean, geez, they better watch out because they're going to lose these guys they don't think a lot of. Obviously, they don't. They didn't think much of Aries. They didn't think much of Swan, and they don't want Neville to leave because they don't want to. Not because they're
time out. I don't know if Swan was always in the spotlight of 205 Live. Swan was got put in a tough situation.
Yeah, I agree.
With domestic violence, and that's why they let him go. Other than that, I think Swan would still be there on 205 Live. He'd probably be thriving right now.
Yeah, I agree, but I don't think they don't look at these guys as like big top guys. They don't. And that's the reason two of them are going to be, one of them you haven't seen much of them yet, but I mean, another guy like Aries, they didn't see much of him. And like Neville, they don't see these guys in that high of a. I get there are situations with Swan, I get that. But I mean, different situations, I get it. But they're letting some of these guys go, and they're killing it on the indie circuit. Not just Impact, but look at Swagger, look at Cody Rhodes, guys who are killing it right now. They just let go.
Yeah. It's it sucks what's happening with Neville. I mean, like I said, I stand by what I said. He did walk out. I mean, regardless, you do that in your job, you get fired. And I know it's different in the WWE, but he did walk out. But hopefully, as a fan of Neville, they finally just cut his loss and he can.
I hope so too. I'm with you.
I really do think Neville has probably been one of the most talented wrestlers since like 2012, give or take. Like he was killing it in Dragon Gate and Noah. So I would love to see him on the scene. Babaruski said, "Put him in progress." Like,
yeah. Thank you. Sorry, I had to let the dogs in. Sorry. All right. Okay. So to continue on, hopefully Neville will be back, but I highly doubt it. And again, WWE may be making a huge mistake letting Neville go, because if he goes to New Japan, ROH, or Impact, they're gonna bring eyes to that show, and he's gonna be tearing the roof down when he does actually wrestle on that company.
Oh man.
So we're going to move on to two more items to talk about, and then we're going to be going off the air. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on this special edition of Shooting the Shit, episode number 15, everybody. It's crazy that we're only on episode 15 already. Again, we'll be live Tuesday night again and Thursday night for Impact on Pop. We'll be back at Sunday night. Can you hear me? I'm here. Can y'all not hear me? Okay. If there's someone, oh wow, look at Juanita with the super hearts. Holy moly cannoli. Damn. Wow. Look at all those super hearts. Wow. Really appreciate all the super heart love tonight. We are so close to becoming a super broadcaster here on Periscope. So we appreciate everybody's support that y'all have given us the last couple of months here in 2018. It's been an unbelievable month for us, or year, I should say. Getting the gold status, becoming almost 900 followers here on Periscope. It's been an unbelievable year for us. So let's touch on the Reigns and Tama Tonga situation that's going around town. And Alex got some heat on Twitter about a certain opinion he said about Tama Tonga. So I'm going to step away one quick just to fix the dogs, and you give what your heated opinion was that you got a lot of heat on. 1 second.
So for everyone that knows, I've been watching New Japan since 2011. So it's not that I am by no means unfamiliar with Tama Tonga. All I said was that Tama Tonga made himself 300 times more relevant by feuding with Roman Reigns. The way that I look at it, yes, New Japan fans watch WWE. They don't really they know Tama Tonga. They know the bad boy. They know OGBC, right? So imagine that. I'm not trying to stick to specific numbers, but just for the sake of saying he has a fan base of 5. He's targeting Roman Reigns, who still, as much as people hate him, and that's fine. That's fine with him. It's not a "Ooh, Roman, cheer Roman" talk. It's just Roman is much more established in the world, in the well-known world, and Tama Tonga went after him, knowing that would elevate his stock.
Thank you, Juanito.
And people
actually, no, though.
Huh?
I would actually disagree. Roman Reigns started it.
No. Did he?
Yeah, he quoted something that Tonga said in that video, and then it went back.
But was it really a diss or anything like that? He said he basically he copied a lyric
Drake
from a Drake song. Basically, kind of just sum it up. And
so I mean, Roman started it,
and that's when it kind of, and to me, and this is before I knew this whole situation, I thought Reigns and Tama were related in some sort. I know they're different relations. I get it. They're different. He's Tongan or whatever, and he's Samoan. I get it. They're different. I thought they were related. So when I saw Reigns quote that, I thought it was a joke. I thought he was playing around. I thought it was ha ha he kind of a thing. And Tonga made a joke and Reigns took it seriously. Okay.
But still, I still stand by my point saying Tama Tonga's stock has elevated. People say, but it's because Roman's an easy target. I'm like, why is he such an easy target? Because irregardless if we hate Roman or like him, he's going to get the biggest response. And then I get the, no, it would have been the same if Tama was feuding with anyone else. I'm like, really? Really? So you're telling me if he decided to tweet at Seth Rollins or Kevin Owens, as much as Kevin Owens' banter would be so much fun, and no offense, Tama, but KO would destroy you. But, you really think he would have gotten as much of a reaction or any buzz generation if he had been with anyone else but Roman? Do you think so, Tony?
No. Other than maybe John Cena or like The Undertaker.
He's not Tama Tonga anytime.
Guys like that, other than like the main names on WWE, like Undertaker or John Cena.
Brock Lesnar doesn't have a Twitter, so
absolutely. So him calling out, I bet what Tonga got calling out Roman Reigns. You know how many fucking Roman Reigns haters went and followed Tama Tonga, even though they don't know who the fuck he is and probably never watched one wrestling match from Tama Tonga? Probably thousands. I would love to know how many followers he got from when he called out Roman Reigns to now, because I'm sure he got a lot. And then he got him coming out to the ring doing the fist pump and doing that type of shit. I don't want to say it's a work, but it just pretty much says that, Tonga knows what the fuck he's doing.
Exactly.
I was a Red Sox fan. That was funny. I got you. That was good.
People got freaked out when I said Tama Tonga became more relevant. That doesn't mean I think Tama Tonga's a nobody, but you can't deny that Tama's stock has gone up since this whole interaction with Roman.
I don't follow him.
And all I got in response was,
Roman, get the tables app, dude.
But Roman sucks. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. This is not a discussion about Roman that we have pretty much every day on Twitter. It's who benefited more out of this, Tama Tonga or Roman Reigns? I'm asking both of you. I'm asking everyone. Who benefits the most out of this, Roman or Tama?
Probably Tama. It does nothing for Reigns.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like Reigns is calling out Ibushi or Kenny Omega. That would be like, oh shit.
Ooh, that would be fun. Roman and Kenny going on Twitter.
But
speaking of Kenny, I mean his tweet about this whole thing, that was funny.
No, I didn't see it. What did he say?
He basically said the enemy of my enemy is now my friend or something along that line. So yeah, I mean that was funny.
If you put Tama Tonga is basically like a slimmer version of Roman when you look at them.
Right. They look fucking alike, man. How can you not say they're not related or look related? They look fucking alike. I mean, it looks like Roman Reigns Jr. in New Japan Pro Wrestling.
We all know Haku's family and the Anoa'i family are very close. Even though they're one Samoa, one Tonga, they're still Pacific Islanders. They're definitely just side texting, just saying this is a lot of fun.
Yeah, yep. I mean, I would love. I mean, this probably will never happen, but I would love to see them go one-on-one one day. Oh, that would be such a treat. Now, here's my question for you, Alex, and then we'll move on to Dave and get the Mae Young Classic stuff out of the way. How do you think Roman Reigns would do in New Japan Pro Wrestling?
Honestly, I think he would do well because I think it's. I don't think anyone Okay, I won't say anyone, but I think Roman's a good worker. I think he is one of the top workers in the WWE in terms of what he brings in that ring. Like I did watch Bobby Lashley versus Roman, even though I knew what was happening. But it was an entertaining match. Like the crowd was definitely into it. So Roman gets a reaction, and I think if you give him that creative freedom to just be what he should be, just a Samoan badass, just beating the shit out of everyone. Hell yeah, I think he would do well in New Japan.
Yes, and let's all put our biases aside when it comes to Reigns, okay? I know a lot of people hate Reigns for specific reasons or different reasons. But we can all admit at one thing. This dude works his ass off, all right? So that's what my question is. Would his work style, his type of wrestling that he does in that ring work in New Japan Pro Wrestling?
Are you kidding me? The Japanese commentary would flip if they saw a Superman punch from Roman.
Okay, no one's selling that.
Ah!
I'm sorry.
Says, but he sucks. When you put in this WWE moveset bubble, you're limited a lot. Right. And I'm sure he would bust out a lot more stuff that we haven't seen him do before. I'm pretty sure. What about you?
I guarantee you.
Adam Boss says, I don't think he did well. He wouldn't be bad, but he wouldn't be good. That's me being completely honest. That's fine. All right.
I'm sorry, but I just don't have Superman. Yeah, he probably could do decent New Japan. Maybe Yano will take him under his wing or something. I don't know. But you think Suzuki's going to sell a Superman punch? You are shit crazy.
Well, maybe he doesn't have the Superman punch. What if he has the spear as his finisher? That's it. No Superman punch. Takes that out of his wrestling style or whatever. That's not his finisher. Now it's the spear.
Okay, I still don't think Suzuki would do that shit either. But I mean, I'm just saying.
Red Sox fan says Roman wouldn't be a big star anywhere but WWE.
Yeah, I mean, he wouldn't be.
I want to hear Alex's because he's more of the positive Reigns guy here.
Oh, I've just become more of a Reigns fan because of all the hate. Now it's just fun to cheer him. That doesn't mean I'm excited for Roman Brock.
Oh, of course not. I know you're not excited for that, but he's saying that Roman wouldn't be a star anywhere else but the WWE. Do you find that to be true?
Do I think he'll get as pushed as he is in the WWE? No, but I don't think he would flop. I think his look can take him anywhere. I truly believe that. I think he'll get shit on if he goes in the independents, but I think if you gave him a little bit more freedom, you'd be surprised. Maybe I'm wrong, but at the same time, we don't know what Roman can do when all puns intended, the leash is off.
Oh, I like that, Alex. I like that. Hey,
no, I don't know. I just don't know if you take Roman Reigns out of the WWE before he got this 20-year push, a main event every WrestleMania for the past 20 years, it seems like. Would he be a star that he is? Would he be the star right now anywhere else? If you go back in time and take him out of the WWE cycle and he started somewhere else, I don't think he would be the big star he is right now. The only reason he's in the position he is now is because Vince loves him and he's related to The Rock. I mean, that's it.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. Bob Ruski makes a good point, too. You make a good point there, Dave. He may not be who he is if he wasn't with the WWE. You're absolutely right. But you can say that for a lot of people, You can say that for a lot of guys that are currently hot in the WWE. And not necessarily Rollins or Styles and guys like that, but WWE has made some guys before they've made the WWE. And I think I would love to see Roman Reigns against a guy like a Jay White, or against a guy like a Suzuki or a Bushi or Omega, just to see how the matches go. Just to see how they would go. Because I don't think we would ever see those matches, honestly. Well, look at Jericho. I knew in New Japan, he's helping Reigns out, then I could see him being a big star. Okay. If they kind of allied them together, I could see that. Also,
that's different.
Oh, yeah,
that's
true.
Different.
Man, if they had Reigns join the Bullet Club, man, I wonder if he did.
Oh, my God. I don't even know how fans would react if Roman joined the Bullet Club.
Roman joined the Bullet Club. That would be in fucking.
And he would probably join Tonga and them that side. That's where he would go.
Well, he would definitely go with the Killer Squad.
Now there has been rumors circulating around about The Rock and the WWE and talks, possibly The Rock wrestling at the WrestleMania that you're going to, Alex, in New York, possibly against Brock Lesnar.
Oh,
I don't know
brother.
if that means that Brock Lesnar would be the champ, or if they would just be having a regular singles match. You would have to pray and hope that it's not for the title, because if the Rock won the title, I would shit a brick. But anyways, Alex, your thoughts, because you're gonna probably be there live along with Red Sox fan. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it would be. I think it would actually be a dumb business move if they had it for the title, because Rock versus Rock, I know, like, irregardless of the title, it would sell on its own. You do not need the title for that match. I mean, yeah, Brock, just the fact that Brock's having a match, but The Rock coming back to WrestleMania, that would sell on its own. That would probably be bigger than any WWE title match they have there, if we're being honest. And I think they teased Rock and Rock for such a long time. I remember. You remember when Brock was feuding with Triple H, and he went to the quote Titan Towers, and destroyed the office, and he looked at a picture of the Rock on the wall. He just smirked. So they've been doing it, and hey, man, if Brock will wrestle for money, I'm pretty sure he will not turn down a match against The Rock. I mean, for all argument's sake, The Rock is probably the most successful guy that started off in wrestling. I mean, look at him now; he's the top grossing guy in Hollywood. It would sell as a live experience to see The Rock go at it. I haven't seen him live since '99, give or take. So yeah, I'd be excited for it. Why not?
No, The Rock will not be showing up tomorrow night. I think the Brock's supposed to, not The Rock.
The Rock.
What about
they're always trying to get The Rock.
Would you be upset if it main event in WrestleMania?
Fuck, that's a good question.
Because if The Rock's on WrestleMania, there's no way in fucking hell he's not main eventing.
If it depends on the rest of the card, but I could see them do the main. I mean, it's not like Roman's doing it. It's just his older Samoan cousin. But I don't think people would be mad about that.
Okay, Red Sox fan says he would not be. That says that's your marquee matchup. Yes, Brock versus Rock Part 1 wasn't all that. Rock is going to win the Universal, then Roman beats him. Oh, my God. New York card's going to be stacked. Oh, you're going to Raw tomorrow? Awesome, man. Hopefully it's a good Raw for you, man.
Man, you want to turn Roman heel? Man, you want to turn Roman heel big time? Rock versus Brock. Rock beats Brock, and then Roman comes out to celebrate and then turns on and beats the crap out of his own cousin. That would get some straight-up heat right there.
Yeah?
Yeah, keep dreaming, though. I mean, we would all love to see that, but keep dreaming. This is my yard now. It's been his yard for, 2 years, and we still fucking hate him. This is crazy.
I thought it was 5 years.
5 years. I don't fucking know. I mean, it's been so goddamn long. I got my years all mixed up. Also, on the Mae Young Classic, we've had a couple of more names.
Are you excited?
I've seen The Rock versus John Cena, and that was... So that's my thought.
The first one wasn't bad.
I don't know, man. It wasn't main event material in my eyes. It wasn't.
Well, no. Come on, they were in The Rock's hometown, and you had Flo Rida out there.
We had who else out there? Machine Gun Kelly, right, or something? I mean, goddamn. We had Brodus Clay concert, I think, even before that.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Jeez, man. No, I mean, The Rock, he hasn't wrestled in a long time, and I love The Rock. The Rock used to be one of my favorites. One of my favorite things about what he would do is mid-match grab the camera, and he would fucking show you and beat your ass up, commentating as well at the same time and beat you up. I love that. I just don't know how a Brock and Rock match would go.
Right.
I'll believe it. Like I told you, Tony.
We saw. I mean, we saw what we saw with Cena and The Rock. Yep. Wasn't that great? Maybe to some people it was, but it wasn't that great. Now you got a guy with Brock who is known for 5 moves, and then you have a guy like The Rock who hasn't wrestled in years. You think they're gonna go out there and have a great match?
No, the match quality is one thing, but you can't deny that it's not. It's a big money match.
Oh yeah, there'll be the money match. I mean, it'd probably sell out like that. I'm sure they'd probably break pay-per-view buys. I'm sure it's the biggest match they'd probably ever have in the last couple of years. But I don't know, man. I just don't see the excitement. I don't see the excitement. Yeah, maybe the build will change my mind on that.
Tony, like I told you on an online chat, I'll believe it when I see it. I mean, that's it. I mean, I'll believe The Rock's coming back when he shows up on Monday Night Raw. Not tomorrow, but next year sometime. But if he shows up on Monday Night Raw, yeah.
Same moves for 20 years, but was putting on fantastic matches with those same 20 moves. Just saying. Not only that, but other wrestlers wish and pray they can be like that man. Just saying. So, no, he knows who I'm talking about. He knows who he's trying to take jabs at. I'm just saying.
Wait.
He knows who he's trying to take jabs at. He knows who he's trying to take jabs at. And it's not going to work here. All right, tonight, buddy? All right? No jabs here. So take your NATO ass, go watch him lose to Jericho in a couple of months. All right, anyways. A couple of more people were announced for the Mae Young Classic. We had Mia Yim, a competitor from last year's Mae Young Classic. And a person I've never heard before, and forgive me, is Miko Satomura. Is that correct, Alex?
Yep.
Can you touch me up a little bit on her?
So when it comes to like Japanese wrestling legends, like all the hype and stuff like that, Mako is definitely, oh my God, she's definitely up there. She is she's founded her own company, but she's been wrestling since like the 90s. But she had a brief stint in WCW, but she's really just known for her work in Japan. So she is considered in the Japanese world like as a wrestling legend, and to anyone familiar, she's just a lot of fun to watch. She's a very stiff hitter. And it's definitely like, and I definitely just like, I read the article that WWE posted, so they are treating her as a big deal. So I'm excited. I mean, I want to see her and Io Shirai go at it again. So from my side, I'm excited for it. I know Red Sox fan is.
I was going to ask you something, Alex. You said brief stint in WCW. Did she face Medusa at Road Wild? Or is this someone else? Was that her?
No, I think that's Toyama who did it.
Okay.
Yeah, but I remember she was like just in a tournament and she had like a match here or there, but it wasn't anything like a big stint.
Okay. All right. So yeah, a couple of more names were announced. Anything else now that, Dave, that you're excited for? I know you have Mia Yim. It's a person that you are a fan of. Tony Storm was also announced to be in the Classic as well. We all know about Caitlin Casey Catanzaro. I know that's part of the Ronda Rousey group, so she's in there as well.
Is that Roderick Strong?
Yeah, I think that's Roderick Strong's wife. Who else was recently added? I think. Who else? Is there
Deanna?
Who?
Deanna Purrazzo.
Deanna Purrazzo. We've touched on that as well, but I was just looking at any other
Isn't
newest.
there rumor that Madison Rayne might go to the Mae Young?
Madison Rayne is a no. For God's sakes. If Madison Rayne wins a fucking match on the Mae Young Classic,
he beats Tony Storm.
watch her beat fucking Tony Storm or Lo Shirai or fucking or Mia Yim.
Goes to the finals.
Why are they adding fucking Madison Rayne? Sorry. Let's calm down.
So does Friends of Ronda make it to the finals again?
I don't know how great of a wrestler she is, so it'd have to depend. I don't think so. I think it's going to be Lo and Tony Storm.
Yeah, and I'm reading right now. It is a heavy rumor that Madison Rayne is going to be in the Mae Young. She's been losing all her matches, and even in ROH, I know she's like lost a couple recently.
Damn, Josh calling in favor.
Oh, I can't fucking wait for Madison Rayne and.
Dude, come on. We all know the reason. Josh, I was just going to say that Josh Matthews is calling in some favors. That's it.
Yeah, there's tons of sex bots tonight. I don't know what is going on, but we had a great viewership tonight. I'm surprised at how many people showed up on a Sunday evening when a lot of people like you guys have to go to work tomorrow night. or tomorrow morning, excuse me. Just like Alex here, thank you for joining us tonight. It's been a fantastic show. I mean, I can't thank you guys enough. We hit this is the most ever Super Hearts we've ever gotten, 13,000. Unbelievable. Thank you, Juanito. Thank you, Jeffrey Cross. Thank you for all the hearts. If you guys may have preferred this show to be on Sundays, maybe we might have to change Shoot the Shit to Sunday evenings. It seems like it works for a lot of people. It seems to work better for Alex and his schedule as well. So we'll see how that goes. We'll touch on it probably more throughout the week. Get a little bit more info on Alex, how he feels about that. Same with Dave as well. Maybe instead of having Shoot the Shits on Saturdays, we'll move them to Sundays. If there's pay-per-views on that Sunday, we can move them to Sunday to Saturday. That way we can do the predictions and all that stuff. So it could work out. I know a lot of guys, or a lot of everyone in the chat room were waiting for Alex's return. So thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. And thank you for always supporting us. If we don't have Justin or Alex or Dave on the show, we really do appreciate you guys still coming out here, showing support, dropping those hearts. If it is from you guys talking shit about me or whatever, I love the conversations you guys in the chat room have. It's very great. And I love the jabs y'all give me. I know it's all fun and games and it's all fun. But Red Sox fan, fuck you. And SummerSlam's just around the corner and kick your ass. And Alex, any thoughts? Because I know you probably won't be joining us Tuesday or Thursday night. So anything you want to say before we come off the air tonight?
Yeah, actually Tuesday is when I begin night shift, so I will be working from 7 p.m. to 9 a.m. So I will be I'll be a zombie to say the least for the next 2 weeks, but I will be obviously posting in, checking in, seeing what's going on. Hell, if I have some downtime, I might just live stream the show while I'm just chilling around. But yeah, it was a great show tonight, man. It was really great catching up with you guys, talking again. And we got a lot of fun stuff in the wrestling world to look forward to. I mean, SummerSlam's around the corner, so we'll be keeping you guys posted. But yeah, the Sunday show was pretty awesome. So I'm sure Tony or I will put up a poll this week. We'll see what everyone thinks, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, we'll put up a poll on the old Twitter account sometime this week to see how you guys think about us moving the show from Saturday nights to Sunday nights. I know a lot of people probably go out on Saturdays, whatever have you. And maybe Sundays just work better. It gives you all that jump into the work week. So we really do appreciate everybody's support. Let's do a quick shout out. Again, special shout out to Juanito and Jeffrey Cross for the Super Hearts tonight. And thank y'all guys for pumping the shit out of those hearts tonight. We already hit 5 million. We're probably going to hit 6 million very soon. We had 3,500 viewers tonight. Thank you to Bob Aruski, Adam Awesome, Red Sox fan, Jeffrey Cross, Truth and Loyalty, Kevin Peckenrod. This guy looks like a new viewer. Trouble Distribution. Ted, that's a bot. That's another. Oh, Joanne Pham, thank you for joining us. Another gold member here on Periscope. Thank you for joining us as well. Derek, Jody Mania. Who else was in here? Adam Baum. A lot of support. Smart Podcast was in here. Y'all guys showed us a lot of support tonight, and it's a lot of much love. Thank you, Wicked Clown, for joining us. If you're new to the show, just one more time, we are Get the Tables podcast. We're live here Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Mass fan, thank you for joining us as well, always. Tuesday nights are our WWE, SmackDown, and Raw post shows. Thursday night, we touch on nothing but Impact and NXT. Yes, we touch on NXT, but most of the night, Thursday nights, are pretty much around Impact. And then Saturdays are our Shoot the Shit. We just come on here and shoot the shit with you guys. And that's basically what we did tonight. Thank you, everybody, for joining us again. Dave, any last words before we are live again on Tuesday night?
Yeah, just a couple of quick things. Did you guys hear that LAX is going to challenge the Young Bucks at the Jericho Cruise?
Damn.
I mean, geez, that's going to be really good. I wish that was live streamed because that's going to be an awesome match. Young Bucks versus LAX. Holy shit.
For the Cruise, last time I heard it's Jericho and the Bucks versus Kenny Omega, Cody, and Marty, like Alpha Club versus Bullet Club.
Yeah, but Conan put a tweet out. If it's okay with Jericho, LAX wants to challenge the Young Bucks.
Well, I'm sure Conan definitely wants Jericho's approval. I mean, Jericho got him the show, so.
Yeah, I mean.
LAX versus Young Bucks for sure.
That
Yeah,
should be
and
good.
one last thing I want to ask your guys' opinion on. Did you guys see, and what are your guys' thoughts on Owen Hart going into the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame?
Oh yeah, we did not touch on that. Wasn't it back in Canada that he got inducted?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, it was nice to see Brett up there and the family there, just to at least acknowledge Owen. I understand we talked about in terms of the WWE Hall of Fame, but Owen should definitely be acknowledged for the career he's at. I mean,
Yeah, and Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame is just as big as the deal as the WWE. It may even be more legit if you want to say it than the WWE.
Yeah, I agree with that. And also, Bret Hart was at a UFC event, and I guess got a huge pop. Obviously, they're in Canada, so yeah.
That's right. And so Monday night hopefully will be a good Raw. We got Brock Lesnar supposedly supposed to be on the show. We got the whole face-to-face. Can't wait. Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. Once again, everybody, yay! Can't wait. So tomorrow night should be good. And then we got Tuesday night SmackDown. And then we're live again here on Tuesday night. So again, thank you guys all for your support. Thank you for almost hitting the 900 follower mark. We may have hit it after tonight's show. And thank you again for the amazing Super Hearts and Regular Hearts. It was quite an amazing show tonight. I can't thank you guys enough. And you guys mean a lot to us. So thank you again. Follow us on Twitter at Get the Tables, or if you haven't already, on YouTube as well on Get the Tables podcast. We will be live tweeting Raw tomorrow night, so I hope you guys can join us then. But after that, I hope everybody has a great start of the week. Monday. Oh, God. I'm not sure if they'll pay tribute to Sex Day, to Brian Christopher, but I'm definitely they'll have a rest in peace thing. Same with him and Nikolai Volkoff. You can guarantee it tomorrow night, 100%. They may even mention what was his name? And, oh wow, what was his name? That Brickhouse Brown. They may even mention him. Maybe, who knows? But again, thank you guys again for getting us over 3,500 views, over 900 followers. Y'all are amazing. See you guys tomorrow night and have a great Monday because we want to see you tomorrow night. Tuesday night. Thank you, everybody.
Peace.